Manchester United battered by Brighton. I mean, look, we have to give all the plaudits to Brighton because that was a fantastic performance. But they were given a helping hand by a bunch of Manchester United players who didn't seem as if they really wanted to be there.
I think a couple of weeks ago, Faye, I said that Manchester United need 15 new players. And I think people laughed at me. But when you look at that performance today, they need 15 new players. Not one of them players in that team will Ten Hag look at from today's performance and want to play next season. They were not bothered, no passion to play for Manchester United. And I know we don't like using the term they're on the beach, but they look like there was. You know, Brighton are a good side, but Manchester United should never be losing 4-0 to Brighton. And today, they let the club down, the fans are singing, you're not fit to wear the shirt. All of them were poor today. And it's funny how you can't blame Pogba for today. You know, you can't blame Harry Maguire for today. So maybe players like Varane need calling out because he's been very poor this season, and other players in that side. At the end of the season, the last game in 2 weeks for Manchester United, I'll be saying to a lot of them players, just don't come back. I know it's not as easy as that. You know, players under contract, you're not going to get pennies for any of them Manchester United players on the transfer window. So big problems for Ten Hag. You know, if I'm coming into this job, if I'm Ten Hag, I'm very worried, Faye, because a lot of them players today were not professional. And you can blame the manager to a certain degree, tactics, this and that, getting the players up for games. But look how many international stars were on that pitch today. And they didn't turn up. None of them wanted to run around. Brighton were playing like a pre-season keep ball game, having a bit of fun and score a goal, have a bit of passing, tiki-taka and score a goal. Manchester United today, honestly, disgraceful.
So Ralph Rangnick, with this consultancy role he's apparently going to have next season, perhaps he's sitting there and already writing down for Erik ten Hag who he thinks should be out of the door. Maybe he's almost, well, he is an insider obviously, but he's watching the players to see how they react. You know, Brentford, they were excellent. Yeah. Today, appalling. You know, I think that's 5 away games in a row they've lost now.
But you never see that sort of performance from Manchester City, do you? From Liverpool. That's why the gap between Manchester City and Liverpool and Manchester United is so big, because you can't turn up one week and be on it, and next week, you know, you don't run around, do the basics. So I'm sure you're right, Faye. Rangnick will be writing down a lot of notes. I mean, I think he probably filled up a pad of paper, amount of notes you'll have to write down about that performance, because so many players don't want to play for Manchester United, like the caller just says, and you've got players leaving on a free transfer, not wanting to renew their contract with Manchester United. You know, when have you ever heard of that before? No,
people are clambering to play for United, or they were in your day.
Exactly. Now there's all sorts of houses on the transfer list. Players that can't wait to leave. One more game they can go. You know, we talk about Maguire being poor this season, fans, and he should be dropped. But Manchester United have been worse without Maguire in the side. Varane's been awful, probably the flop of the season, even before Lukaku.
Shocking today.
Lindelof's been poor. Telles, Dalot have been very poor. And the little thing that annoyed me today was Harry Maguire comes on, the club captain, and Fernandes doesn't go over to him and give him the armband. He keeps it on. When Liverpool play and Henderson doesn't start and Van Dijk has got the armband, Henderson comes on as a sub. He finds him wherever he is on that pitch and puts the armband on his arm. Shocking from Fernandes today, not giving that armband to Maguire when you come on. Until the manager says so, he's the captain, Harry Maguire.
Should Maguire be marching over to Bruno Fernandes and saying, excuse me, that's mine?
He should do, but it's not his character. You've seen him, he's not his character. But I would. If I'm captain, you give me that armband. So lack of respect from Fernandes today.
Well, whether it's a lack of respect or just a momentary lapse of concentration, because that could potentially, bearing in mind they were trailing by 4-0, I think, when Maguire came on. And by the way, when Maguire came on, they started to put things up. That chance
that would have been the best thing that he done.
Yeah. was set up by Maguire.
But that would have been the best thing he would have done today, Fernandes, handing the armband over. Because he'd done nothing. If that was Pogba, he'd be getting slaughtered. But Fernandes seemed to get away with it. He was shocking today as well.
By the way, we've got... let's hear from Ralph Rangnick, shall we? Because we've just got his interview in with our match commentator, Sam Matterface.
Ralph, how do you explain that performance?
Difficult to explain, and at the same time, if you play on that kind of energy level that we play today, if you give a team like Brighton so much time and space that they can play the ball between their own lines and through our lines, then it's difficult. I mean, in the first half, I think we had not a single chance ourselves, and they could have scored even in the first half 2 or 3 more goals. That's why we decided at halftime to take the risk to play in a 4-4-2 with Eddie and Cristiano as 2 strikers and 2 sixes. But yeah, that was in the end even more difficult for us then to close the gaps. And after being 3 or 4-0 down, it was about making sure that the result doesn't get even worse, and that's why I decided to play with a back 3 for the last 20 minutes.
Why do you think the energy was so low?
Well, I think the atmosphere in the team in training after the game against Brentford was good. It was about having fun. It was about being good in possession of the ball. But in a game like today, it's not only about being good in possession of the ball, it's about how do you get hold of the ball. And that's why we were not able to stop them, because we, as I said, we gave them all the time and all the space in the world to play the ball between themselves.
But this is Manchester United. It's not a result that happens very often, especially at a club like Brighton. How can you explain away what's happened and the change between Monday night and today?
I don't think that there was any changes. We played with the same formation, with the same lineup, but it was a different game. We played away against a team full of confidence, and as I said, after being 1-0 down and then early in the second half 2-3-0 down, it was difficult to close all those gaps.
But how concerning is it that a team can play so well on Monday and so badly today? And for the future of the club, how concerning is that? Are you worried about what Erik ten Hag is inheriting here?
To be honest, I'm not worried, but it's obvious that it needs some changes, that this team needs a different level of energy. For me, it was a question of energy today in our performance and in a few of our other performances as well, like at Everton. But we saw against Brentford, for example, that we can raise this level of energy again. And in other games like West Ham at home, Tottenham, so we had, the difference and the ups and downs, they are just too intense or too far away from each other.
Some of the fans left in the middle of the game. What is your message to those who have made the long journey down here?
We can only apologise to our supporters for this performance. It was just not good enough from start to finish.
That was Ralf Rangnick speaking to talkSPORT's Sam Matterface straight after that 4-0 defeat to Brighton. Listening to that, I was interested by the pause. Sam said to him, why was the energy so low? And he paused ever so slightly, but enough to make you think he had to really think about it and think what his diplomatic answer to that was going to be, Gabby.
Yeah, you can tell he doesn't want to come out and hammer players, does he? But if he was being honest there, I think he could have hammered every single player. They were shocking. Even little things like easy defending for the Welbeck chance in the first half. Varane scrambling, knocks it straight to him. It's like amateur defending. So, like I said, Ten Hag has got some job on his hands.